Unless you live on the moon, I am sure you have heard about Chat GPT. In case you don't know, a quick introduction, Chat GPT is AI technology, artificial intelligence, that can search through thousands of pieces of information and give you an answer to your question or search query. I've seen people use it for a whole array of different things. For example, someone used it to book a trip to Italy. Where were the best places to go? I only have 3 days and this is my budget. And it planned an entire trip for her based on her budget and where she was going to be located. I've seen people ask for business ideas and how to start a business. I've seen people use it to process market leads and find target customers. And of course, as an English teacher, I have also used it to get lists of words of vocabulary that I might be using with a student. A lot of people are worried that it's going to overtake online tutors, but I'm not worried so much. I think AI is a good tool for your learning journey, but I think talking to a native speaker and practicing with someone that is a native speaker of your target language is the best way to improve your confidence, your ability, and your skills. So my name is Catherine. I'm an online business English teacher. I teach intermediate to advanced English. So this video will be focusing on building your English using Chat GPT for intermediate and advanced students. So let's get into it. Of course, the easiest way is just to practice conversation with Chat GPT, but that's not going to help it stay in your memory. We want to learn new vocabulary that stays in your active vocabulary. You can use it often. It comes right to the forefront of your mind when you need to use it. And it's not just something you've looked at online and written down and never used again. So the first thing you can do is ask ChatGPT a very specific question, something you're interested in or something that's in your line of work. So for example, I like sustainability and environmentally friendly issues and projects. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT, what is England doing in order to be more sustainable or more environmentally friendly? You can see I get a long list from ChatGPT and I can read through the answer, make myself comfortable with it. I highly recommend you write down any words that you don't recognize and translate them into your language so that you understand the answer completely. That will also help you with the next stage, which is finding something within the text that you don't quite understand and asking for more information on that. So for example, I'm going to ask, what is an ultra-low emission zone in England? Again, you can see I get a really detailed answer about what an ultra-low emission zone is. You can then continue this until you have between 10 and 20 new phrases or vocabulary in this specific area. This is going to be great in the future because it's going to help you when you are talking about this. You're going to remember certain aspects of this conversation you had with ChatGPT. Another thing you can do, of course, is practice conversation. However, I don't mean asking ChatGPT, how are you? How was your day? How are your wife and kids? No, what I mean is practice disagreeing with ChatGPT. And I think this is a great idea for 2 reasons. The first is disagreeing in a professional way is something that's quite difficult and a lot of people struggle with. The second reason is disagreeing that is in a language that is not your native language can be very difficult because you're not sure what's going to upset the other person. And sometimes due to cultural differences, you might say something that's very normal in your culture, but quite offensive in another. So disagreeing with AI is great. It doesn't have an opinion. It's not going to get upset. It's a great way for you to practice. So the first thing I'm going to ask is, or say, not ask, it's not a question. I'm going to tell ChatGPT to give me a supportive reason for the use of fossil fuels. And it's going to create a really detailed, supportive argument for fossil fuels. And what I want you to do now is argue with ChatGPT. Of course, write down anything here you see that you think is helpful and interesting, but then I want you to find an argument, a counter argument. So I'm going to say, okay, but don't you think renewable resources are better for our future? And again, ChatGPT is going to create a really professional, well thought out answer with no emotion behind it, no anger behind it. You can write down any phrases or vocabulary that you think will be helpful for you in the future. Another thing you can do with ChatGPT is practice interview questions. This is great because this is a great way to calm your nerves for an interview and make sure you feel prepared. I wish I had this when I was still interviewing for jobs. So you can do this in two ways. You can be the interviewer and the interviewee. So first of all, I want to be the interviewee. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT to create 20 questions. Now these can be vague or these could be specific. If you want just 20 general interview questions, you can ask for the most common or general interview questions. I want to be specific just to demonstrate to you. So I'm going to say, create a list of interview questions for a software developer position. And you can see it gives me a really good list of detailed questions. So I can think of my answers, write down my answers and keep them safe for the next stage, which is then asking ChatGPT the same questions and comparing the answer it gives you to your answer that you already have. So of course we need to write give an example answer because ChatGPT has never been a software developer. So give an example answer for the question, how do you handle working with clients or other stakeholders who have very specific requirements for their software? I can then compare my written answer with ChatGPT's written answer and take my favorite phrases, my favorite sentences, and use them in my answer in the future. The fourth and final trick that I'm going to give you today is grammar. Grammar is the hardest thing, I think, in the English language because there's always exception to the rule. So what I think we can do here is think of a grammar rule that you really struggle with and ask ChatGPT specific questions about that grammar rule. So I'm going to say, what is the difference between the third conditional and the first conditional? And you can see again, it goes into detail and gives more examples as well. So finally, the last thing I can do is test my skills because I think I'm starting to understand. I think I get it. So I can say, is this sentence the third conditional with my example? And of course, ChatGPT is going to say yes or no and tell you why yes or why no. There are many ways you can use ChatGPT, and I'm sure I'll have to do a follow-up video after this one with all the other ways you can use it. But these are 4 ways that I thought of that would be really helpful for actively using your English vocabulary and not just reading and memorizing, but actively using it. So I hope you liked this. I hope you found it useful. Please comment down below if you use any of these tips, and comment down below if you have any tips of your own for other English learners. Okay, I will see you in my next video. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.